Greetings, folks, and welcome to the CODEC Show, episode number 5 for spring semester 2019. Wow, this is the last episode for the spring semester, which means that the spring semester is drawing to a close very, very soon. My name is Peter James, and I want to welcome you all here. Studio audience, can you give yourselves a hand for coming to the Entrepreneurship Club? We are coming to you live from actually not live, but we are coming to you from COD campus here in beautiful Glen Ellen, Illinois. 273 lush acres of property and beautiful foliage. It is spring and the weather is warm, and who wants to be inside right about now? Nobody. But thank you for joining us for sure as well. Listen, the Entrepreneurship Club, you know what we do here. We expose students to entrepreneurs from the community, from the local Chicagoland area, but we definitely are kind of showing them the possibilities of what entrepreneurship can bring to their lives, can allow them to do, and can allow for a brighter future for sure. So we are super excited to be here for another episode, the last episode for the semester, like I'm saying over and over again. But I'm pleased and stoked to have a COD alum, Carlo Cooper. Carlo, how are you doing,
Good.
man?
Thanks for having me back.
Oh my gosh, yes, he came to my class last week. To an entrepreneurship class. It went so well, I had to ask him back the next week over. You are a COD alum, correct?
Correct, yeah, I graduated from here in 1990.
Awesome. That was just like yesterday, man.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for coming out. COD has changed since you've been here?
Yeah, it's pretty huge.
It is pretty big. Students have evolved. Students are more in their technology now for sure. Students are doing a lot more opportunity. There was never any entrepreneurship club or entrepreneurship classes when I was going to college. What about yourself? Back in the day here at
There was
COD?
a lot of 6-foot pool tables, and I remember seeing a stand-up comedian in the Student Resource Center.
Oh, nice.
No, I took some great classes here, had some great teachers, there's still things that I learned here, honestly, that I've taken with me.
Yeah.
For example, one teacher just knew a lot about the history of Chicago, and he just told us a lot about, and it was really cool to learn things about the city that I still use when someone comes to visit,
Wow.
Walk them around the city. So
Wow, awesome.
a lot of things, yeah, it's cool.
Good stuff. So I'm super excited again, just because you bring a unique aspect of, hey, I went to COD, and here's how I can evolve to be an entrepreneur. So that being said, tell us a little bit about your journey from COD, some of the stuff that you've done, and then we'll kind of push hard into what you're doing now, because I'm excited about that.
Sure. First of all, you may not know this, but entrepreneur is actually a French term meaning I don't want to work for the man. Just kidding. Anyways, how did I get into this? Oh my gosh, crazy. Who's heard of the expression, necessity is the mother of invention?
Yeah.
You heard that before? So I'm a drummer, and I started playing drums when I was 16. I'm 49 and a half, or 3/4 right now.
Sweet. Hold on to those 3/4, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's like 75 cents. Anyways, so I was, a lot of times drummers have problem hanging onto their sticks. It's a smooth, flat surface.
Sure.
So if you have a problem like that, you could put tape, you could sand them. Some drummers wear gloves. I didn't want to wear gloves, so I made some scratches down the handle, and that evolved into a cross-cut groove pattern. And I launched it on Facebook. I had a full-time job at the time. I was with Trader Joe's, a full-time employee. For about 8 years, and I decided to launch this, and it just kind of took off, not in the sense that, what really does take off and what explodes overnight, anything that does is not going to sustain that.
So
but
you were working at Trader Joe's, and you had a side gig there where you developed this product here. How easy was that? How long did it take you to develop that product?
Well, I thought of the idea a long time ago when Facebook or none of that was around. Then I got married, had kids, kept busy changing diapers and stuff. And then about 4.5 years ago, I said, I'm going to do this. And it just all kind of clicked, like I was saying in the class last week. Sometimes when you're doing something, you never go somewhere and you keep getting green lights. It's like green lights. Everything just kept clicking, like it was the right thing to do. The universe was ready for it. So I just, I'm no expert. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I had never invented anything before. I had never launched a product, but I did everything. I did all of it my own, got the patents, got the packaging, got all that. I mean, I had other people design the packaging, but it just kind of took off. So I launched it. I began the concept in April of 2015, And then by October, I took a picture of the sticks on the kitchen table in my apartment, and I launched them on a Facebook group.
Wow.
And my phone exploded. A lot of good stuff, some negative, like $20 for drumsticks, but no one ever says that after they buy them. And then it kind of takes you in different directions. There's really no right way to do anything.
Yeah.
You just kind of, so yeah.
So I thought I heard you right the first time, then you repeated it. You launched this thing on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. That's how, if I would have tried to launch this when I thought of the idea, what was it, 14, 15 years ago? It would have been totally not exciting. But yeah, I put the picture up on Facebook. I knew that the sticks increase grip. They kept your hands dry because of the grooves. The air can get in there and you're more relaxed. Your hands aren't holding on to them so tight. And I knew they stimulated pressure points, which is not like some medical term, but anything that you put in your hand that's going to tingle it. And just kind of launched it, and then it kind of took off from there. And
so I'm fascinated by this a little bit. I want to dive into the science behind it in just a second here. But this has been your hobby for some time as well, and you really have been playing the drums for a while, and you saw the need. There was a need, and you kind of took it from there and developed this product, or kind of the nuance of the product to a certain extent. Is that a fair estimation?
Yeah, definitely. At this point, I've sold like 8,000 pairs, which sounds like a lot. I did this on my own, single dad, 3 kids, working a side job. But really, the drumstick, as we know it, the non-chicken kind, has been around for probably 200 years. And the invention of the drumstick is the handle, the shaft, the taper where it goes thinner, and then the tip. This is a drumstick, how it's been for 200 years. And what I did is I put grooves in the handle. So really, my invention is the handle. But I changed something that's been around forever. And how I changed it, which is not, I didn't realize this really at first, but this strikes drums and cymbals. That's what a drumstick does. It's an extension of your hand as a drummer connected to your instrument, almost like a guitar pick.
Sure.
What these sticks do, and I have all the testimonials you can read all day long, is they do 10 times more than that. Yeah. They keep a constant, you never lose the connection with your instrument. Wow. Your hands don't get numb. You're probably not going to drop the sticks. Your hands stay dry. They're not going to slip. You're more relaxed, less fatigue, less shock, less cramps. When I found out they eliminated pain about a month after I launched them, I was teary-eyed, like, wow, these eliminate pain. Drummers could play that, had pain or couldn't play anymore. Now they could play because of this design.
Sure.
So,
so again, I'm fascinated with this. I want to ask you how you came up with the science behind it, because you seem like a science major, so that may be a little bit of it as well. Hey, studio audience, if you have questions, don't hesitate to raise your hand. I don't want to hog all the questions here, but I am truly fascinated. So tell me how you came up with these grooves, man. Did you just take a knife one night, you were at home and you just started cutting it? I was going to say while you were drinking, but that would not be appropriate here in COD.
Drinking lemonade.
And you were drinking lemonade, absolutely. And you started cutting out the grooves? Is that how that works?
Well, basically, so this model, which is the natural, the grooves are just cut into the stick, and then this is what I came up with afterwards. That model was successful at its own, but what I did is I added a thin layer of a rubber resin, which gave it even more grip. And I'm only showing that because it'll probably show up better for you guys to see the grooves. But I was practicing my drums. I was living in Logan Square. It was I don't even know, 1996 or something. And I just got sick of my hand slipping. I was taping and sanding. I didn't want to wear gloves and lose the connection with my instrument. Right. And so I just made some scratches, and then we moved so that my band could rehearse in this basement of this building. Their dad owned it. It was a 2-flat in Rogers Park. And I made some crosscuts, but again, I didn't do anything about it. I got married, had kids. The timing wasn't right, obviously. And then when I decided to launch this, the breakthrough is that these are 90-degree angles. It's actually a 90-degree grooving bit that makes these. Wow. And then they're offset. They're actually set to where you're supposed to hold the stick at. And they're smooth grooves. There's 20 grooves. So they're comfortable. They're amazing. They're a breakthrough.
If I hold on to it?
Yeah, please do.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I
No worries,
want to be cool with it. Okay. Questions from the studio audience? Anybody as well?
Yeah, ask away.
Yes.
So this is the first of its own, and you created something that solved the problem. That's what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
And have you ever sought out to get any celebrity endorsements? I'm not even a drummer, but Travis Barker's the first thing. Blink-182. Have you ever gotten any of these guys, some of these sticks or something to them to see their feedback on them?
Yeah, and that's a very good question. I get that one often, which means it's a common curiosity. I've given sticks to the drummer from Jane's Addiction, Alice Cooper, but they're not going to play Cooper grooves because they could play Vic Firth or ProMark, these major brands that probably pay them to play. And I'm not saying, extortion or anything, but they're going to want to be recognized with a bigger brand, and they have contracts, so they can't be, seen with my sticks. It'd be like if you had a gym shoe company, what's your name?
Kevin.
So it was like Kevin's shoes, and you knew your shoes were better than Adidas and Nike. It's proven there's nothing ever been done with gym shoes other than say a breakthrough like that, but people are going to want to go with Nike or Adidas.
Name brand, yeah.
With a name brand, it's part ego, it's part, then they could put them on tour, they could do things for them. I'm a one-man show, but I have given sticks to drummers. But the interesting thing about that is they're about to be licensed by Vader, which is what Travis Barker plays, and all these big name drummers play. So that's kind of cool. Is I basically started from the ground up, just regular everyday drummers, semi-pro drummers are playing these sticks, but now the pros are going to start playing them, and then it's probably going to take off from there. So hopefully I answered your question.
No, that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
So how have you marketed to date? Sounds great with that licensing thing for sure, but how did you even get to that point? You have this product now. How do you get it out to the masses? What have you been doing?
Well, again, I started on Facebook. It was funny. We had this thing going where we did memes, just a funny meme of, or I would make a meme out of the people that played the sticks and say what they said about them. But Facebook has really been where I've launched. And just drummers recommending them, and that's another thing about marketing. And there's so much advertising out there, and there's so many things that people. You ever get an email that says RE like semicolon, like is there an email? There's so many tips and tricks to get someone to see your message or whatever. But what I did is I just have an awesome product. It's 5-star rated. I mean, it's even 100% guaranteed. And so drummers recommend them. They hand them to other drummers, and that's how I've built my brand. And a lot of it is Facebook posts. I've done some Facebook ads and things, which are hit or miss. But now Instagram has gotten to be more popular. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like there's a lot of older people, and I'm older, not you guys, that are on Facebook.
Yeah.
And a lot of more younger people are on Instagram. This is what I notice. I'm 49. I'm not saying I'm old. I'm not saying I'm young.
You're actually
but
on
I'm
track.
older than you guys. Anyway, but yeah, just, and then I've used, here's the thing. If you're going to have a business, I think the number one thing you have to have passion. If you're not passionate about it, it's not probably going to go anywhere. And then what are you doing it for anyways? Because I've turned my life upside down to do this. Upside down, inside out. Cashed in my 401k, just I used everything I had to do this. And that's how I've marketed. I've just used my sense of humor, memes. I've done drum shows. I've gotten published about 7 or 8 times. I've been in the magazines. And again, you're swimming upstream because I'm going up against these big companies that are putting full-page ads, and these drummers with their foot on the bass drum. And I met the drummer from Iron Maiden, Nico McBrain. I'm like, hey, you want to try Cooper Goods? He goes, I'm a Vic Firth man. He's not going to play my sticks because he's been Vic Firth for 30 years. Anyhow.
Just one more question. So
yeah, ask as much as you want.
Have you ever thought about trying to get in big places like Walmart, or maybe not even Walmart, like Guitar Center?
Actually, yes, I have. It's interesting too. So when you're an entrepreneur, I'll try to tie this in.
Please.
You have to be passionate. If you're not passionate about it, then what are you doing? And you're not going to know what you're doing. You're not going to know how to do this. And if you did, how boring would that be? If you knew it was going to happen every day, stay home and watch Netflix. Why go out there and do stuff? You got to talk to people, ask questions, get help, and you just kind of find your way around,
Yeah.
But when I started, I was like, oh, Guitar Center. And then I thought, wait a minute, they're massive. I'm one guy, and I still don't mass produce my own sticks. I have a machine that grooves them. I could do 3 pairs in 5 minutes. And that's not mass production. It's it's going to be changed into that. But I've tried to get into Guitar Center, but something way down deep said, they're gonna. And then I started talking to people. They kind of bully you because they know you want to be in Guitar Center, right? So here's another thing, another lesson. So passion, number 1, you got to have passion. 2, you're not going to know what the hell you're doing. You just got to figure your way out. The other thing is when you're desperate in any situation, you're going to get compromised.
Yeah.
If you're so desperate to sell your product or partner with someone or to work with someone, they're going to, because they know they have the advantage over you.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories, just heard stories, like I said, people that have dealt with Guitar Center, they're just big company that a lot of people want to be. If you had 500 people that wanted to be your friend and hang out with you, there's a lot of people that aren't going to make it to that level because there's no way you can hang out. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like good friends. Maybe that's a cheesy example, but something way down in my gut said, it's not ready. It's not ready for Guitar Center. And I also and go with your gut is thought, I could approach these bigger companies when I knew what a great product this was. And what I have to say about the product doesn't mean anything. It's what the customers say. And when you die, congratulations. Your opinion of yourself means nothing. That's what other people have to say. Here lies Carlo. He was a great guy, helped a lot of people, but everyone else thought he was a jerk. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't matter what your opinion of yourself is. But so, yeah, with the big companies, deep down in my gut, I'm like, I don't know, it's not the right time. But it's good. They're actually going to be in Guitar Center soon, so through Vader, a bigger company. So.
I'll even give you another analogy around that is like if you're in music and do you want to work with, and you see a lot of the musicians nowadays going independent and doing their own thing and trying to sell their own music, or do they want to go with the label and get pennies on a track or pennies on their album? What do you decide to do? He's decided to do it independently up until now. He's done pretty good with it now, but now he's got a licensing agreement that he's kind of in control of to a certain extent, correct?
Oh yeah, the licensing agreement will all be laid out soon. That's happening probably the next month. But what the other thing too is I built a brand like from nothing. I took a product. I reinvented an existing product, but I created a name. Used my name, Cooper Groove. I was going to call it Super Groove, but I'm like, no, this is my baby, so I put my name on it. And I created a brand, launched it. It all came together. Like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. Sure. I didn't know how to do it, but I followed my heart, I followed my passion, and I had a lot of people going, yeah, do this, do this, do this. If you get on stage and you suck, no one's going to hang out to listen to your band. It's like you're not going to perform very well. So I created all this stuff on my own, but the great thing, and I think why I didn't go for the Guitar Center thing so much is because I'm connected with all my customers. Like they can message me, email me, and here's the thing: drumsticks are a commodity. These are like $6, $8, $9, $10. Mine are $20. These are $22. But they do 10 times more. And here's what no drumstick company has done is I have 100% money back. You can keep the sticks guarantee if you don't love the sticks. It sounds cheesy like an infomercial, but I sold like 8,000 pairs and 2 people have asked for the money back. And as I explained last week, it wasn't even really a legitimate return. They weren't trying to rip me off. But my point is, you create all this stuff and I created a brand and you put it out there and I built it brick by brick, drummer by drummer. I have drummers, I did a survey. I have a group on Facebook. I created a community called Cooper Groovers, and I'm like, hey, what do you guys want to see? They're like a jazz model, this, that, and then they go, hoodies. We want hoodies. I'm like, okay, hoodies. So I got hoodies, and I thought I could sell maybe 25. I sold like 50 hoodies.
Wow.
It's like they want to wear the brand, but it's everything. I created the brand. The brand is me, and it's totally focused on people. And the thing about Guitar Center is, not everyone gets paid attention when they walk through the door, and it's a big store, but I pay very close attention and made a lot of great friends and a lot of great connections through doing this.
What I love about your story, I tell students a lot of times, we all have hobbies, right? And of course, drumming was your hobby. And someone is making money off of your hobby.
Sure.
And it's probably not you.
Yeah.
So how can you improve on something such as a drumstick so that you can turn it into an entrepreneurial venture? And all of us do stuff that we could probably do this with, and you just capitalized on it. So kudos to you for that.
Oh, thanks.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, to me, what I've done is extremely innovative. I have 2 patents and a patent pending. I'm not bragging. I have not written myself a paycheck yet. Okay, when I do, and I won't brag when I do, but I've, it's going to come. It's coming back to me. I sold like $130,000 worth of drumsticks, on my own, while having 3 kids and a part-time job. But anyhow. But basically, yeah, I'm trying to think of innovation. Here's the thing is, to me, and again, I'm not an expert in anything. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
The moment you think you're an expert, goodbye. You're closed off. You're a closed room. You're a closed door. But innovation to me is something that's profoundly simple, like the Post-it note. It's a piece of paper that sticks to stuff. Scotch Guard, you spray it on your shoes and water repels. Some of these were mistakes. Some of these were people racking their brains. But innovation to me is it's profoundly simple and it impacts people's lives.
Yep.
Look at all the new products that come out every year. How many of those are really, truly breakthrough, 5-star rated, life-changing, game-changing, innovative?
Yep. 0.
But I feel like what I did is I'm turning the drumstick, I'm still working on this, from a commodity into a constant connection with your instrument. So.
Yeah. Good stuff. Any more questions from the audience at all? Yes, ma'am. The young lady over there.
You mentioned you're expanding to hoodies. What other products are you?
Well, it's what people do too, I think, is what the mistakes entrepreneurs make. Like, they start a business, I'm going to have t-shirts, I'm going to have all this stuff. It's like, let it come, like, build it up. You know what I mean? Focus, that's the thing too, is focus. I mean, and I've gotten distracted, believe me.
Sure.
I have so many other ideas and stuff, but it's like, you want to stay focused and like roll things out, and like, you launch a product, then maybe 6 months later you launch another product, and it's like, so basically I started out, and then, I waited for the t-shirts. People were like, we want shirts. I kind of wait until they ask for them. Yeah. But what I did do, I don't have one with me, but I have a vinyl sticker, it looks just like this, and I signed a thank you, Bob, Carlo, and I have a little treble clef thing, and I've signed a thank you to every drummer that's bought my sticks in the United States and 16 different countries. So just different things like that. Branding is powerful when you can, when people want to represent your brand. I mean, that's amazing. And I'll give you one example of how much my brand has impacted people, not just the elimination of the pain, which is, would be the major, but on a side note to that, a drummer in Germany got a pair of my sticks, and he tried them, and they eliminated the pain he had in his elbow for 8 years. He fell down hiking in like Austria. And because the sticks helped him so much, he's like, I want to help you. He sent, on his own dime, on his own time, he just has a regular job and a wife. He's not some, philanthropist. He sent a pair of sticks into this drumming magazine, and they published a piece on them. Then he told me, again, he's like, man, I'm so grateful for you. You changed my life. I could play the drums without pain. He paid to advertise my company in a drumming magazine for 4 months. A customer paid to advertise, and he doesn't have, like I said, he's not a philanthropist. He paid to advertise my company because I want to give back to you because you helped me. That's profound. That's powerful. And that's why I'm lucky I'm doing something like this, because it's impacting people. I'm not just selling them something that they're going to, oh, this is really cool, and then they put it away. It's like changing their lives.
Awesome.
So that's why I'm so excited. Sorry.
Awesome.
It's not the Starbucks.
Awesome. Yes, sir.
Have you tried doing any marketing to like younger people, like new band members, like in schools and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've done a little bit. Again, when you do, I kind of have a brand army out there, not on purpose, but drummers that are already talking about the sticks. But I really want to get to more younger drummers. I've tried, different things like, but it's really difficult to do it all. Like, obviously, I'm not even paying myself right now, and I've got a few people that help me, people that volunteer, like my sister, and some of my customers. One of my customers invested in my company, which is crazy. But yeah, the younger generation is what I want to impact, because these sticks are going to help their hands last longer. There's so many, didn't know this until I launched my company, so many drummers have tendonitis, carpal tunnel, arthritis, because it's a repetitive motion injury. I mean, you know what I mean? They're banging their hands up, and some just have injuries from other parts of their life, but yeah, I mean, it's really difficult. What are you going to focus on when you're just trying to do all this and you're juggling all these balls? And it's, but that's something now that I see with this licensing thing. I mean, to give you an example, like I sell 150 pairs a month. This company sells 150 pairs a day. That's like 30 times what I sell. They have 52 channels around the world, distribution channels, Guitar Center, big name artists, Stuart Copeland, Chili Peppers drummer.
Wow.
So they're gonna, I put myself on the map, but they're gonna put this on the globe.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
Good stuff.
But yeah, thank you for the questions.
Good stuff. Any more questions from the audience? Yes, sir.
When did you say you started selling again?
So I came up with the idea, I picked the idea back up April of 2015, and then I launched them while I was walking to work, wearing a Hawaiian shirt, going to Trader Joe's, and I launched my sticks and my phone blew up. I launched them October 22nd of 2015, and honestly, my sales have probably grown like 600% since I launched them. I mean, which is not, it's a great percentage. It's still not enough because I'm one person with limited capital and stuff. So 2015. So this is the beginning of my 4th year. Last year, I kind of broke even, which is good. Didn't lose any money. So yeah, this is the beginning of my 4th year. This is going to be a very interesting year for me because, I mean, literally, I've spent all my money on this, and which is fine, but now I'm going to have royalties and things coming in, and someone else is going to do all this other stuff for me, so I don't have to do it. So I'm going to have time to come and talk to you guys and to go out there and help people.
To promote your bit, to promote it.
Yeah. I mean, and again, like I said, I built an army, but they kind of built themselves. They're the ones going out there, talking the sticks up and showing them. A lot of teachers that have younger students, They're like getting their students, and actually, Modern Drummer wrote a piece on my sticks, saying that the grooves help beginners know how to hold the sticks. The first top 2 grooves are how you're supposed to hold the drumstick between the crack of your first finger and your thumb, and then you kind of turn your hand over, and then these 3 fingers kind of go along for the ride. So the top 2 grooves are great for beginners on how to hold the sticks. And then I have a lot of older drummers, their hands are beat up. They've been playing for 30, 40 years. They're like, wow, I don't have to wear gloves. My arthritis doesn't bother me.
Sure.
So it's a win-win for everybody, really.
Very, very cool. So we're getting ready to wrap it up here.
yeah.
Thank you so much again for coming. I want to give you a chance to kind of network with the students here afterwards as well. But I always finish all of these CODEC shows, these interviews, with this last question, of course, is knowing then what you know now, if you would tell your younger self this, or even if you were one of these students sitting here in this audience, what would you tell them? What advice would you give them as they're thinking about an entrepreneurship venture or thinking about moving into the world with something like what you're doing or whatever they want to do as well?
Well, again, I would say, are you passionate about it? What is it why are we on this earth? I mean, we're here just to suck oxygen and make money and, whatever. I mean, I think we're here to make a difference, make an impact, I mean,
Yeah.
get outside of ourselves. I mean, I feel I'm a pretty interesting person, but I don't like spending much time by myself. I mean, I'd rather hang out with other people. But, I would say, are you passionate about it? Is it something that you're really passionate about? Is it a problem you want to solve? And what's interesting is there's solutions and there's breakthroughs. Like, this is not a solution. This is a breakthrough. This is changing the game, which I didn't expect at first. But what is it? What battle do you want to fight? For lack of better descriptions. How do you want to make a difference in the world? And is that something you're really, really passionate about? And are you willing to go all in? And because here's what I used to tell people: I don't like to gamble. I gambled everything to do this. But it's a win. It's a sure thing because it's making a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
So you really have to just be passionate. And is it is this what you really want to do? And you're going to fall on your face. I mean, oh my God, I fall on my face so many times. That's how you learn.
You've made a calculated risk.
Yeah, but I would say keep some money on the side because I just used all mine. Keep a savings going. I just want you could let a business could run you down. I mean, in many ways.
Awesome.
So
Hey,
yeah,
folks, let's give Carlos a hand.
thank you.
And those of you watching behind the camera, thank you so much for joining us for another CODEC show. Again, the last episode for spring 2019. We truly appreciate you being watching us. And thank you again, Carlo, for coming through.
Thanks for
Look
having
forward
me.
to seeing you again very soon. And thank you.